For some strange reason, when you speak on the topic of Robert Kelly, people will bypass the common sense in which you speak of just because they don't like the topic at hand or the individual, and will bypass all the information that you provide, and also that gives them the option to verify themselves instead of constantly letting these mainstream media platforms play with your emotions and keep spinning these narratives when at the end of the day, hypothetically speaking, all these people with all these opinions on Robert Kelly see all these trafficking and grooming techniques being used on these platforms. So let's flip it logically for people like you and me who use sites like Facebook. Think about all those men and women who jump in the inbox of another individual trying to schedule a date, schedule a fling, whatever it may be. Are we going to start isolating those situations as sex trafficking as well? Or let's look at all these clubs. Me, for example, every time my birthday comes around, I get all these messages from promoters from different clubs inviting me for a VIP trip. So with that being said, let's think about how these narratives are being spent in this entourage recruiting these girls. Well, what if, hypothetically speaking, I go to one of these functions and I'm assaulted and I start taking my frustrations out on the club owner, even though it was the promoter doing the acts? So with that being said, what if I go to a function and some no-name, regular, schmegular guy assaults me, and instead of targeting that individual, I target the celebrity he's with? So let's take this on another level. Let's say this incident occurs and people let me know that a celebrity will pay off for any indiscretions of its entourage so I can go and get me an attorney, fail to report this alleged incident, and people on the internet are going to be driving this believe her notion, and all I need as evidence is a damn photo. See, these are the type of laws being put into place by these cases such as Robert Kelly that the black community are going to bite their fucking tongue once they realize this bullshit. Now, the same way that some people are monopolizing hanging on these transcripts at the courthouse, let's not forget that majority of this stuff I have told you and put little jewels to let you do your own research and connect the dots yourself. But let's take this on another level, because as a former model, as I said, let's think about all these women who are in these type of normal situations that don't report, that are pursuing their dreams and are taken advantage of by real predators. Like, for example, when I took this photo you see to the right, it's completely nude, it's body paint. Did you think that I would expect to be assaulted during this shoot? Much less how I would respond. Imagine you're doing a photo shoot with a man with one arm doing your body paint, and all of a sudden he feels it's okay to cop a feel. And in your mind you're thinking, if I act, if I do some damage, if I hurt this man, nobody's gonna believe me. So what do? I take my payment and I swallow that story. But that experience taught me what I have told you on my platform, and why I side-eye any parent that would subject their child into the industry and not be there to supervise every single moment. And I don't give a damn if people want to say it's victim shaming or not. That's personal experience and common fucking sense. Now, I put that out there for obvious reasons. A lot of victims don't like to come out and publicly share certain stories and try to glorify this and get awards and write book deals and do all these interviews. And those were red flags I saw. So excuse me if I'm going to moderate my comment section accordingly. Now, clearly, my platform is about showing other people that you don't have to compromise your integrity nor your beliefs to get anything you want accomplished. And you damn sure don't have to claim this victim mentality to accomplish any freaking goals.
Right now, there is no active investigation in Florida, but the parents of one young woman hope that changes. A Polk County father claims his daughter is one of several young women allegedly recruited and trapped in a sex cult devoted to the singer. Now, the father says Kelly promised to help his daughter with her music career, but was actually recruiting her for sex. The father says the Polk County Sheriff's Office couldn't help because his daughter wouldn't cooperate with investigators. Now, we actually spoke with Sheriff Grady Judd today because it was his office that arrested R. Kelly back in 2003.
That's after investigators found nude photos of young girls at his rental home in Davenport. That warrant stemmed from the case in Chicago. So here's what the sheriff told us today about the day of the arrest.
He was hiding out in Davenport in some lease houses. Of course, it's hard to hide R. Kelly. So law enforcement officials there notified us. We found him and promptly arrested him. Oh, he was totally cooperative.
The sheriff tells us because of issues with the search warrant, ultimately the charges in Polk County were dropped. As for the case involving the young girl from Polk, the sheriff says that although the family lives there, they say the incident happened in Kissimmee. So we're reaching out to law enforcement there to see if they plan on investigating these claims.
So let me get this straight. To build this RICO, we're going to keep talking about stuff like this. When this girl obviously had a so-called claim, the parents wasn't studying it. But now all of a sudden they no longer have a legal claim. Now we gotta manufacture all this bullshit to keep the public confused. Okay. So far you got the delusional chick, the other lady who already had herpes trying to pin it on Robert Kelly, and the lady on here talking about smearing doo-doo on her face. Meanwhile, these parents have initiated all this propaganda on YouTube trying to create these non-profit organizations masquerading as this advocacy for women. And this was so funny about all this dumbass shit. These people so dumb, they supplied people like me with enough ammunition to dispute everything they go in this courtroom and say. So at the end of the day, I don't have to hang on to everything being said on other people's platform when I already been telling you for the last 2 years, all these people are janky than a mug. Even more so, I question the fact that Azriel was even 17, considering she could have graduated at the age of 18, considering her late birthday, as they like to put out there. But considering these people came to the internet and wanted to keep pushing this 1717 narrative, bypassed that they signed over guardianship or custodianship to another individual, which the age of consent is 17, which was my primary argument with her. But again, when those red flags were raised, people were too busy being entertained and waiting on me to keep wasting all my time showing you what's right in your face.
And we charged him criminally at that time. However, the case did not survive the court system, and he was ultimately transferred to Chicago on those charges. So he went up there, and that's the last we've heard of him. But if he comes back here and violates the law, we still got his bed at the county jail. He can have it again.
Have you read the article or heard the allegations? It's pretty bizarre.
No, I haven't. I don't get involved in reading, that, news of, actors and rap artists and that sort of thing, people who act like somebody else. I don't have time for that.
Allegedly, there's a Polk County woman whose family's here, and she's, according to the parents, she's being held captive in this cult-like house. What would it take from them to get you guys to look into that?
Well, certainly we investigate every allegation of criminal wrongdoing in this county. If they're not in this county, we'll then refer them to the appropriate investigative source wherever they think she is. Now, of course, there's been some allegations about past criminal charges, and of course, we can't talk about those victims of crime because sexual battery victims are, with good reason, exempt from public record. However, if the parents come forward and they allege there's a violation in this county, we'll certainly investigate it. If we find there's probable cause, we'll be more than happy to arrest R. Kelly or anyone else who's violating the law. At this time, we've not heard from the parents. We don't see or hear or understand of any allegations of wrongdoing that's occurred in this county by R. Kelly or by anyone else that he's associated with.
Obviously, you know about his past because he was arrested here in Polk County.
Yes.
Would he, does he fit the bill of predatory behavior?
Do you know any time that you hang out with children and engage in inappropriate conduct, we look at that as potential predatory behavior. Anyone who wants to be with someone under the age of 18, and certainly they're as old as he is, and I understand he's someplace in his 40s, that's an issue. But once again, we have to have a victim, or we have to have a parent who says their child's a victim. And if we don't have jurisdiction, we will find the appropriate investigators to investigate. No one's above the law, and we have room in the county jail if he or anyone else has violated the law.
The parents claimed, I guess, that they met when she was 17. She moved with them when he was 18. I mean, is there anything they could have done or could do?
At this point in time, if that's the allegation, no. There's no law against him talking to or being friends with a 17-year-old. If she was wise enough or he was wise enough not to allow her to move in until she was 18 and there was no inappropriate conduct prior to that, then he wised up from apparently other allegations against him.
All together. We have our moments where we sit and watch movies all together. We go to amusement parks all together.
I'm not talking about, Azrael, going to movies and sitting watching, going to parks. I'm talking about, is it a three-way sexual relationship?
Sexually? Well, first of all, I'm not here to talk about my personal life.
Okay.
And I would never share with no one what I do in or outside of the bedroom. And as a woman, I'm sure you would not either.
Yes. No, I wouldn't, but
okay, then.
No, you're
next
right.
question.
No, you're right. I would not, but this is a very different circumstance.
It's not a different circumstance. There are people all over the world who have multiple girlfriends. It's no different.
Do both of you all believe you're in love with him?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Of course.
Should your parents be concerned?
No.
Why?
Well, my parents knew where I have always been for 4 years. They have known. They know that I've been well taken care of.
They never thought you were missing, Azrael. They just were wondering if you were okay.
Well, my parents have actually came to Chicago and seen me a few times. I've talked to them. They stopped answering my calls.
You know what they say? They say that you were brainwashed. I talked to your dad last night. He says, my daughter is brainwashed, and he's very concerned. He said he was here 2 days ago, and you wouldn't even look him in the eye.
Okay, I wouldn't look him in the eye because he's a liar, and he's a manipulative liar.
I'll tell you why they're concerned, Azrael, because they say she's 17. We found text messages that indicated that she was having sex with R. Kelly when she was 17. Is that true?
No, that is a lie. That is a lie. I was not having sex with him at 17.
Why would they want to lie about you, their daughter?
Okay, so when I first met Robert, my parents told me to lie about my age. So when I met him, he thought that I was 18. On top of that, when I was 17, my parents were actually making me, trying to get me to take photos with him, take sexual videos with him, all kinds of stuff.
Wait. Your parents encouraged you to do sexual videos with R. Kelly?
Yes. And they said because if they ever have to blackmail him, what they're trying to do now, they can use it against him, which is exactly what they're doing.
Joycelyn, I see you nodding a lot with what she's saying. Why are you nodding in agreement with what she's saying?
Because everything that she's saying is true. Our parents are basically out here just to get money, and
your
they're
parents,
scamming.
you're saying the same as saying?
Well, both of our parents are basically out here. They're trying to get money and scam because they didn't agree on what happened, you know, with music or wherever it could be, and they're just very upset.
This is the first time hearing, to be honest with you, that your parents are trying to get money from R. Kelly.
Okay.
Because your father told a very different story
Yeah,
to me
well,
last night.
Yeah, he's the manipulative. He's very manipulative, so he's the one you need to watch out for. But my dad and my mom, they started to send threats to both me and him. They said, oh, I'll put all your naked pictures all over the world. I'm going to ruin you. I'm going to ruin him. If he doesn't send $20,000 to this bank account by Monday, oh, I'm going to put everything out there and then $10,000 after that. You're trying to solicit me like I'm some hoe. I'm not. I'm your child.
Exactly.
The only thing I have left is my voice. And now I have to use it for my protection, because they left me no choice. See, my work has nothing to do with my private life. So stay the fuck out of my business and tend to your own damn life. So go ahead, say what you wanna say about who I wanna date, but you won't say that shit to my face, cause you know it ain't shit to say. Next nigga bring me some dumb shit, it's gonna be a misunderstanding, cause niggas that listen to dumb shit are niggas that be on that dumb shit. They need a life cause they ain't got no life, so they always conjuring up dumb shit. Blocking my path, they don't know the half, it's all they making assumptions. Since when do assumptions cost a man his whole career? Found guilty when you're innocent is the only test I fear. There is one thing that's for sure, and I wanna make this shit clear. I done lived my voice and represented my country for 31 fucking years. Damn it, I admit.